On this tape, we're going to cover different submissions from the Kimura grip. We're going to start off on the feet. Zach behind me like this. The first thing you want to do when someone gets you from behind like this is you want to pick which hand you want to take. And it's always going to be the top hand. It's going to be a lot harder to pry the bottom one out from under. So from here, I want to scoop this arm behind the elbow. Okay, you don't want to be here, you're going to just pull his arm out. I want to scoop right behind the elbow. Now I'm going to take my hand right at his thumb and force it off just like that. Okay? Now as I slide his hand off, I want to grab my hands together just like this. In one pivoting motion, I'm going to pivot on this foot, spin all the way to his back, sit here, and I'm going to drive down to the floor with my elbow and just catch him just like this on his hands and knees. Okay? And crank. Causing him to flip over, my knee goes in the side, step over his head, and sit back with his arm. Again, he has me here like this. First thing, you want to drop down and base right away, okay? If he happens to get you up in the air to throw you, right as he lifts you up in the air, hook his leg right here, defending, so if he does throw, you're going to land on top of him, okay? So drop into base, wrap the elbow here. I'm going to take my hand, slide his hand right off, grabbing my wrist, okay? Keep his arm bent. Now in one motion, I circle, drop down, flipping him over, knee comes in the stomach, step over his head, sit back, switch the grip, hug it, and catch the arm. One more time. This time a little bit faster. I wrap the arm, push this off. Okay, now as soon as I get this free, circle, flip to here, okay, again. I wrap the arm here, I want to pick the hand that's on top, shove his hand down, and grab here, okay? So in fast motion, I'm going to grab here, push it off, now circle, flipping him, knee over, step over his head, and sit back. Now, from the same spot, as I circle him around, as I pivot and drop him, he may flatten out right here, and I may not get him all the way over to flip. All I have to do is pin my elbow down and put the pressure here anyway. Drop here and put pressure. Once again, I wrap his arm, I'm going to shove his hand off, get in the grip here. Now I circle around, as I drive down, he flattens out. Okay? From here, keep my forearm and elbow into his shoulder and put pressure driving towards a spot in between his head and his head on the floor. Just like that. Okay, one more time. Wrap here good. I'm going to shove this off and get a good bite here. Now I'm going to pivot on my foot, circle all the way around, and him down. Okay, from here, elbow in, and put pressure. Now another one here, when I'm on the ground, he's on my back, but no hooks are in yet. Okay? As I'm here, I hook this again. I'm going to shove his arm off and get the grip. Now, I'm going to shoot this leg back as I roll over my shoulder. Notice this foot comes in here to hook. This one comes here to trap his leg so he can't roll. Keep this pin tight and crank this way. Okay, this hook comes in here. This traps his leg so he can't roll. Pin this tight and crank. Again. He's on my back. Wrap here tight, shove this and get it off, okay? Now as I circle, this leg on the same side I have his arm is going to turn into a hook here, just like this, okay? Now this leg is going to come here and trap, pin this down, and crank. Wrap, push it off, circle, trap, and crank. One more time from a different angle. He has me here, wrap here, push the hand off, get the setup. Now as I circle out, hook this leg, okay? Trap this leg here like this. Pin my elbow down, and turn. Okay, another one from the same position. He catches me here, okay? Now I'm going to use that hook that I put in before. As I roll this time in slow motion, I put this hook in right here. I'm going to fling him over, away from me, circling around, keeping the same bite on his arm, stepping up, step over his head, and sit back with the arm lock. Again, he catches the arm. Try it free here, circle, hook in, flip him over, circle to here, come up, knee in the stomach, step over his head, and sit back. One more time. Push this down, circle, hook him, fling him over the top, up to my knees. My knee comes inside. I'm going to use this grip, okay? I push down, I pull up here. If he tries to turn into me, I just put pressure rolling him that way. Okay, there's a lot of pain in the arm here. Step over his head, pinch the knees, switch the grip, and sit back. Okay, moving on to the guard position from the same hold. Real fast, we'll cover the basic Kimura. I pin the wrist, I uncross the legs, sit up and grab the wrist. As I fall back, I plant my foot, scoot my hip out, cross my knees. I'm going to pinch my elbow to the shoulder and turn in towards him. One more time. Pin the wrist, uncross and sit up, wrap over his arm, grabbing my wrist. As I fall back, I plant my foot, scoot my hip out, cross my legs, pin my elbow tight to his shoulder, and turn. Okay, notice this time when I catch this, I wasn't able to drop my foot in here and trap him. Okay, so he starts to pass my guard. I'm not going to let go of this hold. He's going to get all the way and lay down across my side. I keep this hold. He knows I have his arm though, okay, so he's going to hold his pants so I don't get the hold. From here, I'm going to bridge up and over my shoulders, okay? As I crank his arm, I'm going to turn out from underneath and roll him over. So as I bridge and crank, he goes over, and I come to here. Step over his head and sit back, just like this. Okay? Again, it's in the same place. I get this, set the Kimura up, he hops across my guard just like this. Okay? Now as he gets a bite on his shorts, I bridge up and over. Notice he doesn't touch me. Pull him into me here, my knee comes up to the side, step over, and sit back for the arm lock. Try that again from this side. Grab the wrist, sit up for the Kimura, hops across my guard. Okay? He gets a good bite on his shorts. I'm going to bridge up and over my shoulder. Here, pull him into me, knee comes in the stomach. From here, get the same grip, pinch the knees, hug his arm and sit back. Now, same sort of variation. This time, as I grab this and he hops over my guard, I'm going to take my legs this way, so notice they're facing you. As I hold this, I'm going to kick my legs the other way and circle around, okay? Now pay attention as I do this one. I wrap here and grab as he passes. Okay, I circle around, bring my knee in, curl his head, and fall back with the arm. Again, I catch this and he passes. Right as he passes, my legs go from facing you to facing away, all the way around so my knee comes in right here. As my knee comes in, my leg comes around, his head curls down, and I catch the arm here. Do this one at full speed. Again from a different angle. Grab the wrist, sit up and grab his arm. He hops around, okay? These legs, kick out, pivot. I'm using his arm here as my leverage point. I hold onto it, pulling, sending my body around. My knee comes right in this hole, my leg comes around the head, and I curl him down to catch here. Again. Grab here, he hops over. Okay? Right away, circle around, knee comes in, step over the head, and hug. One more time at full speed. Okay, this time I'm going to use the same grip to improve my position and get to the guy's back. As I set the Kimura up here and he starts to pass, I'm going to circle around and stop halfway through with this hook in. Okay? This leg is going to come over the top. Now I can let go, come out, put both my hooks in. Okay? Again. I sit up, I get the Kimura, and he hops around the side. From here, I circle all the way around, putting one of my hooks in. Now as I reach for this hook, I'm going to take my hand out, climb up on his back. Again, slow motion. Grab the wrist, sit up across, and he hops past. I circle away till my hook goes in. Okay? Now from here, as I reach with this hook, my hand comes out, I take his back with both hooks inside. One more time, full speed. This it. Sit up there, circle around, hook comes in, come up on his back. Try it one more time from the other side. Reach up, grab and he passes. Okay, circle around. My hook comes in, this leg comes around and tucks in, putting both hooks inside.
I'm working from underhook position, and usually I have to use my shoulder to underhook in. The underhook side, I want to keep my head in. I don't want to have my head on the side that my side's underhook. I want it on the same side as the underhook. Now the positions that I'll be working would pretty much as I throw under and I'll lock. The first one will be a headlock. I throw under, use my hips to pick up, and I'll lock. And when I lock, I do not want to lock hand over hand. I use a Greco grip, how I showed you in the first series of the tape. I use it locked in the underhook, lock my hands. This is pretty much a headlock throw. Underhook lock, I'll pop my hips forward, my right back leg will step in between, and I'll just turn my hips. Underhook position. I use my shoulder to get under, up high, my Greco grip. I pull his face to my chest, step, and I'm pretty much doing a little small baby step. I have my hands locked, I'll step and try to pop my hips under. I use it just as a throw. Underhook lock, step. Other side. From the same position, underhook, lock. See my small step. I pop my hips in. I just like a throw. I come from this position. Use a neck crank. One time I got my head trap, underhook, lock my Greco grip. I pull him forward into my hips, do my small step, try to pop my hips and shoot him through. Then I can get him off his feet. From a finish, full speed, underhook, right to a headlock. And that'll be the first variation from our underhook to a headlock. On the next underhook series that we'll be showing, I'll be showing a throw by, and it'll lead right to a knee tap. I use my same thing as underhooking. Now, this same position is right here. All I'm looking for is his knee is posting on to the left, and so that's a knee that I'll be attacking. All I do is when I have the underhook, I'll pull this and I circle to my left. You see how he steps? And all I'm gonna do is pick this up. My right hand's gonna go right to the knee, and I'm just gonna throw him right over. One more position. I got my underhook. I pull, I circle, and I'm gonna shoot across. So it's pretty much just trying to shoot them across. Pull, underhook. Pull down, I circle and I step. And I look from strikes from there. Or just to get the side mount. Right to the underhook. A lot of this works is like, say I try to get a headlock and he pushes away because I can't get a headlock, and that's when I'll circle. Look for strikes anytime. And the position goes the same way as my head. I don't want my head to be on that side. I'll have on this side. I pull, step, run them over. Most of the times the guys will try to be a little more sturdy as when I do try to underhook. Circle this way, circle around a little bit. And I'll go to tap, and the guy will have pretty good balance, so I'll have to run him over. When I go to tap, just keep running. I may sometimes just have to run him over with it. Because the guy usually catches balance and walk with me, and that's all, I just have to run over with it. So, one more time, I pull, extend, I snap, I circle. I look for the side position from the underhook. That's called underhook knee tap. From the same position that I have with the underhook, I try to work the knee tap by circling and getting him to step. Most guys that are wrestlers, they understand that what I'm trying to do is circle him and knee tap him. So most guys will step back with that leg. This one I'll set up to a high crotch to a single from the underhook position. I'll have the underhook, I'll try to pull him and snap, and he steps away. All I have is right to a single. I'll lift this, change my levels, and grab right to a single. I have right to a single position. My head's up. I'm not bent over like this trying to reach and grab the leg. All I'm doing is pretty much just like a snag single. I have this underhook position. I try to pull him. He still steps back. All I'm going to do is lift it, shoot this for the leg, keep my head up tight, and I'll step with my left outside leg a little bit and just throw it right over. And I have right to my single leg. One more time. Head full position. I got my head position. I got my underhook. I try to pull him. He steps back. All I'm going to do is step forward, throw it over, right to a single. I got my grip on my leg. My head's up at the chest. And I can work for finish from here. But just for now, we'll just go over the position that we're in. One more time, full speed. Underhook. And I can work from that position. Each one of these setups that I'm doing, they always lead to a different move. As you see right from the beginning, I went from a headlock. If the guy pulls away, I can circle a knee tap. That if I try to circle, go for the knee tap, he steps the leg out, I can go for a single. Everything leads to something different. If a guy knows I'm going to go for the single on the inside, I have the knee tap, and I try to throw it over. All I do is come right back with the head. I'll snap the head down underneath my belly, and I'll just pull him back and try to get him underneath. So I'm pretty much just snapping him down underneath my body. Underhook, I'll circle, snap the head down, and try to get his head underneath so I'm guarding him. I'll just pull him right to the mat. I can work from position right here to strike. Go around, come to the back. I can come around, stick my hooks in, or different positions from there. All this is just pretty much a snap down. Have my head on the inside. I'll club the head. So I'm pretty much just wrapping on top of the head and over. Just like that. I don't want to try to grab the head and go and leap up over. It's just like a swim stroke. I'm swimming over the head and popping it down. Trying to keep it under. And when I'm underneath, or when he's underneath me, I want to use my hand as a chin hook. I'll hook the chin. The chin will be tight. This side's underhooked on with my left arm. I still have the underhook. I have the chin, so pretty much what you guys will see is this position right here. I keep the head trapped, I'll snap them down. I'm still on my toes, so I can have good pressure on them. And I can just work to the inside. Work and circle. Hold the shin, keep circling. There's a lot of strikes that could be used from here too, which I'll be showing later on. But just for now, we'll just go over the technique of this. So I have the underhook. I worked all my knee tabs on my inside, or my head locking doesn't work. So I'll just snap his head down. I pull it down, take a quarter step back just to get good position. Then I can get under the head and pull him down. That's a bad position for me. I want to try to keep my elbows as close as I can to my ribs. So I keep in this position right here. One more time at full speed. Underhook, snap, snap. All the way down. This arm stays tight. This is an important arm, so you can keep it tight. That way so he has no position to move. From right here, I go shoot straight across, pop him forward. This can be used as a submission move. When I'm in this position, underhook, I have the chin, like I said before. I keep the chin as tight as I can. This shoots across the back, and I'm pretty much is gonna vice them together. I'm gonna put my elbows together to my ribs, and I'll just push forward. This gets tight. This is a very good submission that not a lot of guys can use. One more time. I snap to an underhook, snap him down, pop forward. What I'm doing is when I'm on top, I want to keep my chest teed off to his body and try to suck him all together. I try to make it as tight as I can by pressing his chin across and pulling his head to his belly. That's all I'm trying to do. This next one will be a body lock. It's a lot better for guys who are a lot taller or who have compact strength. When I use the underhook, I have the position. Guys usually like fighting back and forth from right here trying to work for something. Now all I'm gonna do is my left leg, which is my forward leg, I'll be stepping in between. I'm gonna pull and I'm gonna change my levels. Level changing is going from your knees, not through your back. So all I'm gonna do is when I step and change, I'm looking for an opening. There's an opening right here for my head. All I'm gonna do is this arm, my outside arm is already deep enough. So all I'm gonna do is change levels and lock. When I lock, my back leg will step behind this leg and I'll pick up. And I try to get him off his feet. Trying to get all the pressure away from him and put it on my hips and my shoulders. So when I have the underhook, I'll pull and I'll step, do a light duck, lock my hands, step over this leg, keep his leg pinched, and just pop my hips. I could either get wild and go straight over with it, or I could just sweep. Keep the leg tight. Position. One more time. I got the underhook. My head's on the inside. I'll pop this, try to pull him and move him around a little bit, change my levels, look for the gap, let my arms slide from this position to his hip, and all I do is look for the hole over here. Change levels, look for the hole. Lock with my Greco grip. I always lock Greco grip because that's my strongest strength. I'll step, pop my hips, let them down with a sweep, or I go straight over. I don't want to do that because I want to hurt my partner today. So, one more time at full speed with a finish. Underhook, step, and look for strikes.
This next tape, we're going to go over leg locks. Leg locks that I teach are very effective. They're very simple. I don't teach a lot of theory. The leg locks I teach work, and I've proven by doing so in the matches that I've participated in. Leg locks are definitely going to be the next evolution of no holds barred fighting. Everybody knows about an armbar. Everybody knows about the triangle choke. Leg locks are something that is new, and I feel that my techniques are some of the cutting edge in the industry. Okay, I'm going to start with Chuck in his guard. Okay. You cannot do any submission technique unless you break a guard. Okay, and especially with the leg locks. Okay. There's a few different techniques, especially in Valley 2-0 or no holds barred type of fighting. It's a lot easier to break somebody's guard because of the punishment they could take if they keep you in their closed guard by the punches. Okay? So I do a combination using my elbows, okay, to effectively open his guard by pinching and digging into his groin muscle, okay? I take my inside knee, okay, put it right in his groin, okay? As I lean back, I'm also crossing my hands over his stomach. Okay, this is restricting his air. Okay, it's making it difficult for him to breathe. Okay. Okay. So I'm pushing his stomach. Okay, as I'm pushing, I have my knee in his pelvic. I'm arching back, and I'm also pushing my elbows into his thighs. Okay. The minute that opens his leg, first thing I'm going to do with my forearm is push this down. Okay, hold it down with the forearm. My opposite arm is going to come around, okay, to the lower part of his leg. You don't want to be up high, you don't want to be too low, but you want to be right here, okay? I'm turning my forearm in, okay? This is the knife of my forearm. I want that right on his leg, right on his below his lower calf muscle, okay? I don't want any space in there. I want to keep it tight right in the beginning, okay? If I start with good technique to start, I'll finish with good technique. So again, in the close guard, push on the stomach, push the knee. As I break, the hand pushes, the knife of the forearm, it's tight. Okay, I start to fall back on my hip, and my right leg rotates over. Okay, I'm squeezing my knees together. Okay, grabbing my fist here, and I'm pulling my fist up. As I pull it up, it's going to dig into his calf muscle. Okay? Right there. Okay? My body motion is like this. Okay? The reason a lot of people do leg locks, and they'll come flat, right to the mat. Like this. I don't have enough arch in my back to be able to get an effective leg lock here because the mat's stopping me, the mat's preventing me. So I always want to turn to the inside, this way, okay? Squeeze his knees, squeeze my knees together, okay? Keep my forearm in his calf, okay? My foot comes around, okay? Pop my hips and arch. I want you to over-exaggerate the arch as hard as you can, okay? Once again, I'm in a closed guard. Crossing the hands on the stomach, elbows here, okay, pushing here, reaching back, right to here, okay, and going for the tap out. Now once I get to here, as you can see, my foot is trapped. That doesn't mean I can't tap somebody out with my foot being trapped in here, okay, but it is definitely more effective once I get to this position. Okay, I have time now. Okay, I've got in good position. I have time to bring my knee up, pop my leg out. Okay? My feet now, this is very important, my feet are on his chest. Okay, my toes cross over each other. The reason for that, if I cross my feet this way, he could easily get me in a leg lock, he could easily throw my feet to the side, okay, or if I put my leg here, now he could get me in a leg lock. That's bad position. So you want to drill this consistently and drill it with bringing your feet flat on his chest, not like this, not your heels like this, but your feet flat on the chest, crossing your toes. Okay, from this position, okay, Again, I'm arching this way with my hips are pushing this way. My body's arching back, right there. Okay, if he tries to come up and grab my hands, it's very easy to push him and kick him back down. Okay, if I fall to the outside though, which is in proper technique, so when I do my leg lock here, see how easy it is for him to come up? I can't kick him down because my feet are in bad position. He could grab my wrist right here and come up. So I always want to fall to the inside. Right to here, with my wrist here, my legs together squeezing, my feet on his chest, popping the hips. Let me show you one time in full motion. Okay, that's our first leg lock. Okay, the next leg lock I'm going to show again is from the guard. It's a slight variation off the first leg lock. Okay, again, I'm in the guard. Okay, another thing that I didn't go over is that when you're doing no holds barred or Vale Tudo fighting, it's very easy to open somebody's guard by striking. Okay, so if I'm in this position here, I'm striking here. Okay, I have elbows coming down here. Okay, and it seems like the minute you hit somebody's head, they might release and readjust their guard. The minute they let go of this closed guard is when you go for it. It's that element of surprise which will catch somebody with a leg lock. Okay, so I'm striking here. Boom, I hit them. They open up their guard. Okay, this time I'm going to use my forearm to push his groin down, and my foot and my knee is going to come up the middle this way. And I'm going to be pushing into him, pressure into him. Okay, what he's going to do is push me back a little bit, and the minute he pushes me back is when I fall back into my leg lock. So I'm up here, he pushes me back, boom, fall right into the leg lock. Again, my knee can stay here, and I can pop the leg lock here, or my leg can pop out, cross my toes on his chest, and arch. Okay, once again, in his guard. Okay, you can open up his guard, striking here, elbow to the thigh. Okay, once I hit the head, he opens up his guard. I push down, my knee comes up the middle, fall back to this position. I always fall to the inside. Okay, over exaggerate, popping and arch. He taps, also bringing the foot up to the middle. Again, arching and pop the hips. Okay, that's another variation off the leg lock by bringing your knee up the middle. And I find these two leg locks very effective and very simple. Okay, this next leg lock I'm going to show you has some transitional elements. When I start to fall back into my leg lock, he's going to counter. And the most important thing with knowing leg locks is having a counter for his counter when I throw a leg lock on him, because the good guys are going to be able to counter you, and you're going to have to think one step ahead of them. And I call this resetting or resetting the leg lock. Okay, so it's like a bait. You're baiting him to reset to a tighter leg lock. Okay, let me show you. So I'm in his guard again. I could break his guard. Okay. Once I break the guard, I come back for a straight leg lock, falling to the inside. He's starting to come up. Okay, the good guys are going to start to come up. Once he gets to this position, it looks like he's going to mount me. But all I need to do to reset his mount is take my hand and put on his tricep. Okay, wherever his body and his upper torso goes, okay, his lower leg is going to maneuver in a spot where I can catch him in a leg lock. Okay, so as I push his tricep, look where his body goes. My right leg needs to come and reset. This is what I call resetting. Okay, as my right leg comes over, whips over, I'm going to squeeze my knees together. Okay, my left leg is hooking his foot on the inside. As I squeeze, I push. Okay, my right hand comes around for a heel hook right here. Okay, the most important thing about going for a heel hook is to over exaggerate my hand. So as it comes over, I'm over exaggerating, I'm hooking it. As I hook, I'm doing a bicep curl this way. Okay, I'm not necessarily taking the heel hook this way, I'm taking it at a 45-degree angle up. So I lock on it here, I can squeeze my other hand together, clamp, and I'm gonna be taking the heel this way. As I'm squeezing my knees together, I'm also popping my hips right there. I'm gonna show you this leg lock from a different angle so that you guys can see it more effectively. Okay, this is the resetting of the straight leg lock. Okay, breaking his guard, falling back. Okay, he's starting to come up. I'm almost baiting him to come up. Okay, I reposition myself by putting my hand on the tricep and pushing his body this way. Once I push the body this way, I'm swiveling my hips. Okay, my hips are almost spinning this way. Okay, as my hips spin this way, my foot clamps down and my knees squeeze together. My right hand over-exaggerates that heel hook motion. Okay, I'm squeezing like a bicep curl, locking on my hands right here, locking my knees together. Okay, from this position, I'm extending, popping my hips and twisting. Right there. Okay? From this position, I could pop his ankles, I could pop his ligaments in his knee. It's very effective. When you guys drill this, be very careful not to torque, because it's not a gradual submission where you're gonna feel pain. It's gonna pop before you feel any gradual type of pain. So you have to be real careful anytime you drill with leg locks. Okay, so I hook it in here, squeeze, and turn. Okay, that's resetting of the leg lock. This next position I'm gonna show you is a heel hook off the last leg lock when you catch somebody in a heel hook, and he's gonna try to roll out of it. As his body is moving and twisting, okay, I'm gonna roll with him. As I roll with him, okay, I'm gonna reset myself by arching back. As I arch back and reset after the first roll, he's actually gonna make the leg lock tighter for me, and it's gonna be even tighter than the first heel hook. Watch what I'm talking about. I fall back into the heel hook, okay? I'm hooking here, okay? He's gonna roll. As he rolls, all I do is roll with him and squeeze my legs together. Once we roll the first time, all I have to do is arc my body this way, okay? As you can see, his body is a lot tighter. The knee's twisted because of his first roll. As he twists, it made his ligaments tighter and twisted. I squeeze my knees together. This outside hand grabs the heel, okay? Right here, right into the heel hook. Now it's even tighter. He won't be able to roll because now this time I readjust and have this foot under his knee. Okay, I elevate. When he tries to roll, I elevate. Right here. Try to roll, he can't roll because I'm elevating. Okay, so I readjust, arching back, hook the heel, right here, the heel hook. Okay. I'm going to show you this from a different angle so we can see it a little bit better. Readjust, squeeze the knees. I can take this hand, put on this heel just to pull up, lock the hands, and twist. Right there. One more angle. Okay, Chuck, why don't you stay here? I really want you guys at home to be able to see this technique, okay, at a good angle. So I'm in his guard, break the guard. As I fall back into the heel hook, okay, he's gonna roll. As he rolls, I'm real relaxed. I just roll with him, okay? Right here, I just scoop my body this way, okay? Grab the heel, okay? Now it's even tighter than the first heel hook I had because he twisted himself into a tighter heel hook. Grab it here and arc. Okay, that's a good variation. Okay, from this position, I'm gonna go into some knee bars. The knee bars that I show are extremely effective. Nobody does some of the fine details that I do that I'll show you, which will help you guys be more effective with your knee bars. Okay, again, we're breaking the guard, striking, elbows. Once the guard breaks, okay, I use this forearm to lower his leg, okay? My other arm comes and hooks his knee right here, squeezes almost like I'm doing a bicep curl. My inside knee comes around and hits the mat. Okay, from this position, what I need to do and what separates this knee bars from most of the knee bars out there is I hook it really tight, and as I fall, I'm pulling it tight. Okay, I'm pulling the knee this way, okay, and I'm sliding my arm up this way. See that as I slide it up, it's tightening up his leg like a piano string and making it very tight. Okay? I hold the foot as close to my chest as possible, okay, which creates leverage right here on his knee. Okay? My right hand comes and grabs onto my wrist. Here, my left hand comes and cups his heel. Okay? Again, I can leave my knee caught. See how it's caught in there? I can leave it caught and still tap him out. Okay? All I gotta do is pop and he'll tap out. Or I could be in this position, pop my leg out, cross my feet, cup his heel, pull the leg this way, and pop. Okay? Once again. From the guard, breaking the guard, coming around, hugging this like a bicep curl, holding it tight. My inside knee comes through to the mat. Okay? This is what's going to make the difference right here. Okay? It's pulling this leg, pulling it up. Okay? This knee, okay, can stay there. I cup the heel, my right leg comes to here, and I hold. Okay? My leg comes around, I cup the heel, and I pop. Let me show you one time in real time.
Today we'll be working on advanced takedowns and finishes from a standing position. So hopefully you'll be catching on quickly, and let's get to work. Today we'll be working on my single leg finishes from a standing position. In my earlier tapes I showed you how to get your shots, your position, and changing levels. So we'll go ahead and work on finishing the single leg all the way to the ground. You got your normal position of your stance, your head position, your turtleneck, and I'm looking for the outside leg. So when I have to work for the outside leg, I'm gonna have to circle to that position. So when I circle, I'm stepping to the right, and I shoot my shot to the left. And I'm making sure, again, that I am wrapping down. I'm not wrapping up. Everything is down. So I got my shot, my head is up, I lock my hands, Greco grip. So when I'm blocking, I'm staying up high. I'm not trying to get down low. Right now, we're just working on a high leg finish. So as soon as I step, I use this leg to push off. I use my head to press in, and I'll stand right to my feet. Stand up, bring it. One more time, I change my levels, shoot my shot, get my Greco grip hand, I push off with my back leg, and I step up right to my feet. When I come up to my feet and he stays up, I'll pinch the leg, keep my head trapped, and I'll just work. It's just a little small back step with my left leg and push with my head. Most of the time you would like to stay up on your feet so you have position of knowing where the guy is on the ground. So one more time. I circle, change my levels, shoot across, use this back leg to push when I lock my hands. And I'm up right here. Keep my head up high. My neck is not down, my back. I'm trying to use everything for my legs. Using my butt muscles, my thighs, my calves. So everything is up high. And all I'm gonna do is just like a light chain pull. I'll step and try to drop. That'll be one of the finishes from a high single. When I'm finishing the single, sometimes I have problems just finishing to a single by itself. So in this position, maybe I'll change off to a double leg. I work the same position, I'm circling, changing levels, looking for my shot, come right to the leg, use my hands to lock. I got my head up, my post leg is pushing, and I'm coming right to my feet. Now sometimes guys will try to keep my hands from chain pulling, and they'll step with his foot. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick the inside leg to the outside, use my free hand, and go right to the other knee. One more time, I'm changing my levels. My head's up, I'm in good position. I go right to the leg. My front leg comes up, my head's up to his chest. I come up right to here. I try to chain pull, he steps. Now if you watch my legs when I kick, it comes from here, I step out my left leg and in with my right leg. And I bring it right up to my hip. Then I'll change up to the double and drive. I'll go ahead and show it at full speed. Change levels, hit my single, come up, right to that position. And you have to make sure is when I have the outside leg, when I'm up and I'm changing off, I have almost like a calf wrap. Then I can change with the other one. And I'm pulling him and trying to get his hips up and parallel. So I'm trying to get him swinging like this and driving across and forward. That is one of the finishes from a single to a double. One of the other finishes that I have if I have problems changing off to the other leg to a double is I could go to the back when I do this. I do the same position, I circle, my head is in good position, changing levels, shooting for my leg. Now all I'm gonna do, instead of coming up with the outside leg, I'm just gonna pull it behind me. And I have an angle on it. This is my angle I have. And all I'm gonna do is for my locked hands, I'm gonna change hands of grabbing the leg. My right arm will go to his right leg, and my left hand will go to his left knee. So all I'm gonna do is just change right up. This would be an easy finish. I come around and try to get from behind his leg so I don't get back into guard, and I can work from here, from this position. Changing levels, shooting across. I got my head up still. My head's up tight, my close leg's back. I'm just gonna pull this back a little bit so my angle's parallel with him. Change hands. My outside hand will come right to the knee, and I'll just try to pull him to me. And get behind the legs, so that way it's hard for him to get in the guard. Show this one more time at full speed. Changing levels, hit my shot, get parallel, pull my drag leg back, change it up. Show this one more time from this position. Right. Change my levels. It's one of the more basic takedown maneuvers from a standing position with a single leg.